Well, hello everybody. It's Yasmin here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Yasmin Boland and I am the author of multiple Hay House books and cards and so on under the name of Moonology. And I've just been reminded by my phone, you can watch this here on Facebook, you can watch it on my Yasmin Boland page on Facebook, or nowadays you can even watch it on my YouTube channel, which we have decided to kind of pay a bit more attention to. So I'm here today, for those of you who don't know, because guess what? We are about to have a full moon. In fact, we are about 14 minutes away from the full moon, which is kind of exciting because it means we're going to be sharing the full moon live together. So that's what we're doing. I can see people hopping on. Hello, Tracy. Nice to meet you the other day in Birmingham. Hello, Amanda Taylor. Who else do we have here? Hello. Marunisha. I haven't seen you for ages. How are you? Tracy Garrett, hello. So hi everybody. So what we've got today is the full moon taking place at 4 degrees of Gemini, opposite the sun, obviously, at 4 degrees of Sag. Now I say obviously because you may or may not know that the full moon takes place when the sun and the moon are on exactly opposite sides of the zodiac and in opposite signs. And there's a few quite interesting things that are happening with this full moon. And one thing, obviously, when I wrote the Moonology diary, which I have here, this is this year's, if you don't know it, the obviously long ago sold out Moonology diary 2023. And while I'm here, let me give a little plug to my Moonology diary for next year, which is so beautiful. I actually think that's our best cover yet. It's the Moonology Diary 2024. And for those of you who don't know, the Moonology Diary, it's not so much a diary, it's like a moon diary. So it's space for your new moon wishes, all about the full moon. There's a little bit of space for writing in, maybe your daily card of the day, monthly overviews, and so on. And actually and it's all about design, says, love the Moonology diary. Yeah, in fact, when I was up in Birmingham, sorry, I won't go on about this, but I just want to tell you this. When I was up in Birmingham last weekend for the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival, I had so many people. There were two things people just kept coming up and saying, because I was there about 2 hours beforehand. I took a wander around all the stalls. And one thing that everyone kept saying to me was, oh my God, I love your podcast. I listen to your podcast, which was really interesting because when you do the podcast, I've said this before, I think on Facebook, but when you do the podcast, you kind of don't get any feedback really. It's not like when you do something like this live on Facebook where people are commenting and people are out there and you can sort of say hi. So that was exciting. And the other thing was quite a few people, multiple people came up to me and went, oh my God, your diary, it changed my life. It changed my life. I'm like, great, because that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to help you create your dream life. There's a lot of focus on manifesting, writing down your new moon wishes, doing your full moon release work. Now, let's just talk about that briefly, because here we are at full moon. So in Moonology, for those of you who are new to it, and I know some of your names, I know some of you are not new to it. For anyone who's new to it, just bear with us. In Moonology, basically, at new moon, we set intentions. Okay, so it's a moment to get clarity. You get clarity on whatever it is you want, what you're putting out into the ethers. You hopefully will create some kind of affirmation to say throughout the month and so on. And then at full moon, what we do, which is now, okay, so it's now 10 minutes to the full moon, perfecting as it's called, is we let it all go and we release and we forgive. Now, why do we do that? Because these are sort of bookends. There's the new moon and the full moon. It's actually more like that because I see the new moon at the top. It's kind of like midnight on the clock. It's like the start of the new cycle. And then we have 2 weeks of the waxing cycle, which we've just had. Okay, we are now at the very, very end of the waxing cycle, which is when it's time to go for it. So if you haven't gone for it, I'm afraid you've got 10 minutes left. Then we get the full moon down here. So think of that as like this quite emotionally explosive time where we forgive and we surrender, and it's like breathe out, which is what we're going to do today. And then the second after the full moon has taken place, we are effectively in the waning cycle. So that's when the moon, so if you could see outside, if you happen to be in Australia, for example, and it's not too light where you are, hopefully you could probably see a big full moon. We can't here in London this morning. It's very grey. It's 7 a.m. But the moon will be out there somewhere in the world, big and bright, and then literally after the full moon, sorry, that's my crowd, we go into the waning cycle, which is when the moon starts. Jonty, come here, come on. He's probably got a bit of full moon madness. But we go into the waning cycle, which is when the moon starts to get smaller every single night until it completely disappears at the time of the new moon in 2 weeks' time. And it's a 1 month cycle, a month. It's a 1 month cycle from new moon to full moon and back again. So this full moon is very interesting. So as I said, when I wrote this diary about 1.5 years ago, because I write them about 1.5 years ahead of time, obviously I had no idea what would be going on in the Middle East, which is going on right now. And I'm not going to go into it because I know it's an extremely fraught subject. So, hey, House Tom, don't panic. I'm not about to get political or anything. But obviously there is a lot of tension there, as there is in Ukraine, as there is in multiple places in the world. And what we have at this full moon is we have Mars conjunct, that means in the same place as the sun. Now, remembering that the sun is absolutely involved in this full moon because the full moon takes place when the sun and the moon are on exactly opposite each other. In this case, when they're exactly at 4 degrees, 51 minutes of Sagittarius and Gemini. Now, the fact that Mars is implicated, Mars is the planet of war and blood. And but also drive and determination. It's not always like, war. So, at the moment in the Middle East, there is a ceasefire. And I don't want to make a prediction. I want to tell you the options, because with astrology, it's always like, it's always about, it's like, these are the options, and then it's kind of up to us, and in this case it's up to humanity, and especially the people in the Middle East there, to decide how they're going to make this play out. So on the one hand, having Mars strongly implicated in this full moon is a bit scary because Mars is anger and, like I said, war and blood, and so whenever Mars is highlighted when there's already tensions, it's like, it's like can escalate things. But the full moon is also a turning point. Okay, it's about, that was then, this is now. It's like I said, the minute of the full moon, we go from the waxing cycle into the waning cycle. So from getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it's like huge and explosive and emotional, to the waning cycle where we start to breathe out. And having Mars strongly implicated in the full moon potentially could be good news, please God, please Goddess, for hostilities everywhere, not just in the Middle East, not just in Ukraine, not just, as war. It could even be a cessation of hostilities between you and your best friend or your parents or your partner or your flatmates or whatever. Could just be your dog goes crazy. But so I think what we need to do is we need to harness this, and let's hold in our hearts the idea, because in astrology it's all about keywords to understand astrology. So in the keywords here really can be a turning point regarding war, a turning point regarding hostilities, a turning point regarding fighting. So if there's someone in your life you've been fighting with, it's a really good time to say, this is a turning point for me. But also on the world stage, let's just send good energy so that we can see some kind of cessation of hostilities in the Middle East. Uma says, meditate on love and peace. Yes, love heals all. Exactly. So what I thought I would do is I would do a little chant. We are going to bring this back to us and be more personal about what we're letting go. But let's start off with a little chant of Om Namo Narayani from my friends Edo and Joe. That's Edo and Joe, J-O. You can get them at edoandjoe.com. And let's just listen to Om Namo Narayani for a bit, and let's meditate on peace, and let's meditate on an end of hostilities. Everywhere there's upset in the world, you know, be it with your neighbours, like I said, with your best friend, with your partner, your ex, your teacher, your boss, or the Middle East or Ukraine or anywhere else in the world where there are hostilities, which, you know, we could cease. And obviously I know not everybody celebrates Christmas. I happen to have been brought up in the tradition of Christmas, and which I love. Christmas Day is kind of my favorite day of the year. You know, as we move towards Christmas, those of us who celebrate it, it is kind of like the silly season. And it's very much time to try and, you know, make right anything which has gone wrong between you and anyone else. You know, we call it the season of goodwill. And if you don't celebrate it, please don't be offended. But that's just what I was brought up with. And I'm sure there are, you know, loads and loads of other people out there celebrating loads and loads of other things. But let's just try and think of that season of goodwill. I don't think it's not a season of goodwill for pretty much anyone as the year ends, you know, and a chance to be grateful for all the good in your life and so on. So I want to just do the meditation. And I want to do it as we go through the actual full moon. So in fact, before I do it, let's first, because we've still got 3 minutes to the full moon, let us ask each other, what are we releasing? What are you releasing in your life? Maybe put it in the comments or say it out loud, and talk to me about what you are releasing as we move into the full moon. And then, so as we do the meditation, we can think about letting go of anything negative in our life and calling in peace into our lives, peace into our houses, peace into our streets, our cities, our countries, and to planet Earth. So maybe you're letting go of an upset you've had with a friend, or maybe you're letting go of self-doubt. Maybe you're letting go of being angry with someone for something that happened recently or a long time ago. Whatever it is, use this time now to start to release. So Eloise says, I'm releasing all the stress I felt during this last month, calling in peace. Perfect. That's beautiful. It's all about design says she's releasing old habits. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, and it's a really good time to sort of just release anger. Joanne Neighbor, I am releasing lack. Okay, beautiful. Lizette, releasing insecurity. Right, so that's brilliant. So you're kind of declaring your intention. Henna, releasing upset and anger. Upset and anger can go now, exactly. So you're setting the intention to release it. So think of the meditation of peace, because basically, as was it Gandhi said, be the peace you want to see in the world. So as we do the meditation, oh my gosh, we've got to start. Think of peace coming in through your crown chakra, filling up your body, and then emanating out of you. All right, let's do Om Namo Narayani, and we'll go for at least a minute while the full moon takes place. Hopefully you can hear that. I'm going to meditate through the full moon. Just see that peace coming in and pushing out any negativity, filling you up. And breathe in and hold and breathe out. And hold. Breathe in peace. Hold. breathe out any negativity. And hold. Breathe in peace. Hold. And breathe out. And just give whatever situation is on your heart to the divine. Just say, divine, I give this situation to you. Just breathe gently. And let's just enjoy the beautiful music and continue our full moon meditation just for another minute or so. And just think of handing over the situation in the Middle East, Ukraine, any upsets you have with anyone in your life, any dramas, any stress, any fears, just hand them over to the divine as we listen to this beautiful music, which basically is talking about handing over everything to the divine. And just be the peace you want to be in the world. All right, and then as we fill up, as we release from the full moon, oh, just this bit of flute, listen to this flute. It's very quick, just listen. Just feel that beautiful flute, like Shiva's flute. So there we are, beautiful full moon meditation, and special thanks to Edo and Joe, Edo and jojo.com. We'll get you their music. They have given me permission to play their music anytime. So hopefully if you've done some releasing, now what we need to do is we need to fill up with gratitude, okay? We filled up with peace, now also fill up with gratitude. So again, close your eyes, hands on your heart chakra, and just think of someone or something you are truly grateful for, or a number of things, and just be grateful at this full moon in Gemini. All right, so what I wanted to do as well is to draw a card. Let's just draw a card. I've got my beautiful Moonology cards here. I'm going to draw a card about what we need to know. Ooh. So if this card is for you, put it in the comments. This card is for me. It's what you need to know at this time of the full moon in Gemini. Where's my little booklet? There it is. All right, are you ready? Here is the card. 3. This is what you need to know around whatever it is you've been releasing, or whatever you've been grateful for, whatever you're letting go of. Everyone's putting it in the comments. This card is for me. Brilliant. Here we go. You ready? Show the world the real you. Show the world the real you. It's the full moon in Aquarius card, even though we're at the full moon in Gemini. The cards obviously can come up anytime. So let me read you from my beautiful Moonology cards. Possibly the best-selling oracle cards in the history of oracle cards, as far as I'm aware. All right, here we go. This card brings a message from the cosmos. That you need to detach a little from whatever situation you're asking about. Okay, so we've been talking about what we want to release. Maybe we've been feeling it quite passionately. Let it go. Someone might be keeping you at arm's length now, but it's no bad thing. It's important for you to allow life to unfold and progress. So it's an interesting message. Even if change seems like a frightening prospect, if you've been holding yourself back from showing the world the real you, this card reminds you that your unique characteristics are what make you special. In a relationship, are you being too aloof or detached? Go ahead and be yourself in whatever is coming up to you. So detach and be yourself. So attune to the moon, be aware of your feelings, but also be prepared to move on. So it's really about whatever it is you're working on as we go through the full moon, don't be too attached to it. When we say Om Namo Narayani, which is what that beautiful music was all about, it literally means I surrender to the divine, or I surrender this to the divine. So it's about saying whatever is in my highest good, the highest good of the people I care about, the highest good of everyone involved in this situation, I surrender to the divine that whatever is meant to be for my highest good, for our highest good, is what's going to come. Additional meanings for this card. Don't lose the beauty and romance of life. You are too much in your head. Get into your heart. A friend might need you. Be sure to be there for them. Or a situation is about to take a very unexpected turn. So there we go. So there we have it. I just wanted to say one other thing. There is also a rather nasty clash happening in about, let's see, 4 hours from now. I have to count on my fingers. About 4 hours from now, Mercury is going to clash with Neptune. So this can be a slightly confusing time. It is that time to embrace uncertainty and just sort of say, you know what, I offer this situation up to the divine. And if we go back to the Middle East scenario, you know, there's like less than 24 hours left on the truce that they've got going over there at the moment. It was a 4-day truce, I think. And nobody knows what's going to happen. And Mercury, Neptune, like that, it's all about uncertainty. So it may well be there's uncertainty in your life. You're not quite sure what's going to happen next. Offer it up to the divine, okay? And try not to make any big decisions before at least about, say, 5 hours from now, which will get you past the Mercury-Neptune clash. All right, so I'm just going to end with a chant, and I'm going to ask you to please join me in offering up whatever it is you're not sure about, whatever uncertainty you have, the situation in the Middle East, anything, anywhere that needs to be offered up to the divine, okay, the highest good. I'm just going to chant Om Namo Narayani 3 times, and then we'll finish for the day, for the month, for the full moon in Gemini. Here we go. Bring to mind whatever it is that you are releasing and letting go, and forgive everybody involved in the situation. Forgive yourself, and let's offer it up to the divine. If you know it, chant along, Om Namo Narayani. Here we go. It's from the ashram where I've been going for, coming up to 20 years. Here we go. Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo we surrender our situation under the full moon to the divine, knowing that whatever transpires will be in our highest good. So be it. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for being here. And I'll see you back here. I'll see you over on my page, on Facebook or on Instagram. And I'll be back in 2 weeks with a new moon. Actually, no, I'll be back in 2 weeks, minus 1 day here on the Hey House page and on my page with a dark moon ceremony. Okay. Lots of love, guys.